Hello. Hello, hello. Welcome back to the show. So, today, what we are talking about is what to start and what to stop as a freelancer trying to scale. Now, some of these things you might already be doing, and if not, I would like you to look at your 12-week plan and book these things in because these are the important things if you want to grow. And if at the moment you're feeling overworked and underpaid and totally stuck in the doing of the business, if you are working in the engine room, that means that you actually have no control over the direction of the business. And so it is time, my friend, to take the wheel of the ship. This is about working smarter, not working harder. Because you probably already know hard work will only get you so far. You cannot just keep working harder, right? There are only so many hours in the day and only so long that you're going to be able to keep running without stopping. So, number one, the first thing is around mindset. Surprise, surprise. Mindset before mechanics every single time. And this is specifically around having an employee mindset. Now, most of the time, service providers, we start our business with an employee mindset, right? Because we're trying to replace our income and we want to work from home, and we're typically working from an hourly rate kind of perspective. And that has nothing to do with value, and it definitely does not include the costs that we incur as business owners. And this has to change if you want to scale. It just has to change if you want to scale. You get to charge based on the value that you bring. So when you're thinking about this, I want you to think about the outcome of your service to the business, because this is worth more to them than an hourly rate to do a task. Why? Because you are an expert and you get to act like one and you get to be paid like one. Now, if you think about an expert, like even a specialist doctor versus a GP. So what, you go to the GP, you pay your $80, whatever it happens to be. I haven't been to the doctor for a while. Versus a specialist where you're probably paying $500 for the first consult, right? That is the difference. You're an expert, you get to act like one. And what we need to do to get out of this employee mindset is to start thinking about the value that we bring and stop thinking like an employee. Now, what this means is that we need to start investing in our business and we need to start thinking big and change the way that you work. Now, I know I'm all need, but if you would like to get out of that place where you are drowning in your business and you are stuck in your business, then these are the easiest steps. So you choose what you like, right? But you're choosing to listen to this show and I love you for it. And I want to help you. And so I'm just going to tell you straight what the easiest, best way to do it is. So when you hear me saying need and should, and I know that we're trying to get this language out of the vocabulary, but like if you want to get fit, then you need to move your body and exercise. Like it's just that simple. If you want to scale your business, there's certain things, that business principles that are in play here that we need to implement. And so that's just what it is. So I'm sorry for the absolutist language. Of course, you get to choose, you get to figure out what feels good for you. But if you want my advice and you want to know what I would recommend and what I would do if I was back in this situation, this is the thing. So one more thing on that, on thinking like an employee, I just want to tell you a story, because when we started our business, it was a marketing agency, and it still is that same marketing agency. And my husband, it was supposed to be my husband's business. And it's in the construction industry, and he was retraining as a web developer and doing SEO and doing ads. And I was going to have a different niche and he was going to have this niche. And when we went to quote for our first website, I suggested a figure. Now, I can't remember exactly what it was, probably around 3,500. And he was like, but it's only going to take me a week. And he was used to earning maybe $1,000 a week at that point. I can't remember. And so for him, it was like, no, but it's not going to take me that long. And what we really had to work through was, because he'd worked for nearly like 20 years as probably not quite, like 15 years as a carpenter for an hourly rate. That was what was so ingrained in him as being normal and what people were happy to pay. And what we really kind of dug into was the value of a website to a business, because the business was not going to get any clients without the website, and they couldn't do it themselves, and they didn't want to do it themselves. So what was that actually worth to them? Actually, a whole lot more than the $3,500 that we were wanting to charge, right? And so I want you to think about that, your services, in terms of that. That's what I mean by think about the value. It's not an hourly rate kind of thing. We don't need to work like that. You don't want to work like that. If you want scale, you can't work like that, because you can't scale your time. We can't get more time back. There's 24 hours in a day. We're not going to get into quantum physics and all the things, right? We have a clock that has 24 hours, and we can't buy more time. And so you cannot scale your time. You need leverage, and that starts with thinking about your time as more than an employee versus time for money. All right, and all of that brings us to number 2, which is moving to a retainer model. We are going to stop charging hourly and we're going to move to a retainer. Why? Because it is predictable, we can charge based on value, and it's better for you. It's actually better for the client. And are you going to lose some clients? Yes, maybe. Maybe you will. But we can't let that stop us from creating the business that we want to create. Right? You're not going to let the actions of some clients, which it's not going to be that many clients if you're working in this employee mindset. You are not going to have more than 10 clients. It's going to be really unlikely that one person can deal with more than 10 clients, depending what you're doing. But like typically in my world, 10 clients is a lot for one person in a service provider space. And that means that we're letting those 10 people dictate the way that we run our lives. And that sounds extreme, but that's actually what we're doing if we do that. So I'm going to do a whole little mini episode on retainers, so watch out for that next time. But this is a really important part in having the ability to uncap our income, because if we don't move to a retainer, then we can only ever earn as much as people will pay us per hour, which is not exciting for them. They don't actually want to pay you an hourly fee. They want a result. So we're going to give them that. All right. Number 3 is simplicity, because simplicity scales. Now, I know that you are really smart and really talented and you can do lots of things. I know. But what is the one thing that you're awesome at? And I don't mean like one task, but like the one result. For example, in my marketing agency, we get builders and trades really great leads. Now, to do that, we do websites and we do ads and we do funnels, but ultimately they don't care what we do as long as we get them great leads. So what is your version of that? What is that thing you're awesome at? And so what we want to do is we want this to become a core offer or a best seller, or like the most popular option that we sell. And we would like as few variations as possible here, because ultimately then it's easier to sell and it's easier to deliver. So what is the one package that you can offer that is fun for you and is valuable for your clients? Because that is the thing that you should offer. And I feel that a lot of people have so much resistance to this And I promise when you make this decision and you do this for yourself and you see how much clearer your messaging is and you see how well people respond when you can communicate the value of this, and you discover how great you actually get and how simplified your processes get, like it's just like beautiful business. It's just so fun. So please test this out and have as few packages as possible. So you're not doing socials over here and websites over here and this over here and that's over here. No. What are you doing? Okay, you're getting them great leads, or you're publishing a podcast, or you're, just pick one thing that you're really awesome at. Number 4, build a machine. Oh, excuse me. Number 4 is build a machine. The 4th element that is essential if you want to scale is the ability to not hold the keys to the kingdom in your head. Now, if you don't have documented systems, then you are going to stay small. Now, what I mean by this is really getting into the weeds. That's the process of this, really getting into the weeds so that you can completely step out of them. Now, to do this, write down every single thing that you do and how you do it, like the nitty gritty, and then create a checklist that a brand new employee could follow. And then you're going to record a video of yourself doing the thing, following the checklist. And as you do that, you are going to see the things that you have missed on the checklist and you can fix them. Now, as you do this, you're also going to figure out what needs to be changed in the way that you work, what extra steps you don't need, how much time it takes, the things that you can stop doing altogether, and on and on and on. Like, this is how we simplify. And you're going to start to create systems so that you can stop doing everything on the fly. And I'm not going to lie, this is a pain in the bum, like a total pain in the bum. But by doing this, it means that your business can work like a well-oiled machine. And when you do that, then you move to number 5, which is moving from a solo to CEO. And that means you have a team. Now, my guess is that you might have some resistance to that word team or to hiring people. And my other guess is that you don't love all the tasks that have to be done across all the areas of your business: marketing, sales, service delivery, finance, legal, and all of that, right? And that's actually great, because there's no way that you can be absolutely unbelievably awesome at all of those things. You could be competent. Yeah, totally. I am. You probably are as well. Are you awesome? Yeah, not likely. Not at all of them. So the process above, number 4, should have led you to a place where you can see which things you want to keep hold of for yourself and which things you'd prefer not to do. And they're the things that you are probably not great at either, or they're the things that they drain your energy. So if you do this process well, which we teach inside the Agency Academy, then you are going to design your team so that your employees make you money rather than costing you money. And I've spoken about this in other podcast episodes, how we want to earn 4 times what our staff are costing us. And if you want to learn more about that, then head over to our website and book a strategy session to see how we can help you to create a business growth strategy for your business. But you are going to start thinking like a CEO and stop trying to do everything yourself, because then there is no room for anything else. And if there's no room for anything else, then you have a capacity issue and you cannot scale. So they're the 5 things to start and stop as a freelancer trying to scale. We are going to stop thinking like an employee, and we're going to start thinking about the value. We are going to stop charging hourly and move to retainers. We are going to stop selling 17 different offers and sub offers, and we're going to start focusing on one main solution. We are going to stop doing everything on the fly and start getting organized. And we're going to stop trying to do everything ourselves and start thinking like a CEO. And that is the process. And as always, this is how we think big. And it all starts with the mindset. So if all of these other things seem scary, if moving to a retainer seems scary, if culling offers seems scary, if like creating systems and things like, yeah, maybe you can do that because it's in the back end. But if hiring people, if all of that feels big, then it's mindset. It's creating practices where you're envisaging that dream business and life for yourself, and really beginning to work on those unconscious, like subconscious beliefs, those stories that we tell ourselves around why we can't do these things. Because maybe that's what's happening right now. As I'm talking, you're going, what do you mean I can't move a retainer because they'd never do that, or I couldn't charge that, or whatever the stories are coming up, or I'm never going to find the right team members. There's people aren't paying, whatever the story is. I can tell you and probably give you proof that the opposite is true. And so both realities exist, because there's that saying, right? Whether you think you can or whether you can't, you are right, because it comes back to the mindset. And so that is where we start, and realizing that we're worthy of what we want, and that when we create a plan to get there and we step into the bigness that like we have to be, like who we need to be to make those big scary moves, that's where the magic is, that's where the growth is. And so always start there, mindset before mechanics. All right, thank you so much for being with me today. Have a fabulous week, and I'll see you on the next one.